How's everybody doing? Hopefully much better than I am, but maybe we'll talk about that later. Anyway, I noticed this video from Happy Healthy Vegan in my subs, and it, well, piqued my interest because apparently Missouri legislature banned the word meat on in labeling non-meat products. Now Ryan from Happy Healthy Vegan, obviously, he's got his fake indignation going, turned up to 10. This creaky little mousy voice. But we're just gonna have to call him out on his BS. Now he gives you a series of slides of imitation meat products that he says will be affected, or intimates will be affected by this new bill. You know, he rattles them off one by one saying, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Us poor vegans, we're such victims. They're always going after us. Yeah, right. So he starts his slideshow off with Beyond Meat, which, in my opinion, if I understand the law correctly, and it doesn't take but a 30-second Google search, and don't read any plant-based news articles because they'll lie to you. Try to read someone that's impartial, that has a good record, right? Literally, a 10-second Google search and maybe another 10 seconds of reading an article. It just became clear how BS his entire video is. Anyway, this Beyond Meat labeling would likely be affected because it does use the word meat. But then he goes on to rattle off all these meatless and meat-free alternatives, right? That use the word meat dash less or meatless, one word, right? So they don't use the word meat anywhere on them. So he's basically, he gives you one that would be forced to change its labeling, at least in Missouri. But then he tries to con you into thinking that all these other ones will be affected too, when they won't. As far as how I feel about that, I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do. The meat industry, they got to do what they got to do. They're being attacked by, and it is, by these lab grown meats, and it is dishonest. Of course it's dishonest. Of course it's wrong. Objectively wrong. If it's not meat, don't call it meat. They should do the same with milk, and they probably, I think they are working on that. Maybe also in Missouri, I'm not sure. If it didn't come from an animal's titty, it ain't milk. It just isn't. So, I don't see anything wrong with this bill. It doesn't impinge upon anybody's freedom of speech because you just don't have the freedom of speech. The freedom to use speech to lie to people when it comes to selling them stuff. You just don't have that freedom, nor should you. Hey, buddy, here's a car. Give me 10 G's. What do you mean it's a boat? Free speech! I mean, like, it's just absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Anyway, once again, Ryan from Happy Healthy Vegan lies because this is just what vegans do. They lie, they lie, they lie. And they're going to keep on lying because the movement is not based in honesty. It's not based in logic. It's based in self-refuting, emotional ideology. It doesn't make any sense. One last thing I wanted to add, but because I'm still dealing with this food poisoning or the results thereof, brain fog is preventing me from remembering. Oh, give me a second. Oh yeah, look at all the vegan ninja warriors. More industry foul play. This is ridiculous. Any ideas on how we could petition to overturn? Like, these people haven't even looked into the bill. They're not even going to. They're just being lied to, and they take it at face value. Just like you're being lied to about the nutritional content of these vegan foods. These people lie about everything, and you just believe it because you're ideologically possessed. Because you're a moron and a robot, and you don't have the wherewithal or desire or intelligence to figure shit out for yourself. But somehow you think you should be the one to run society and tell other people what to do when you can't even tie your fucking shoes properly. Oh, so annoyed. I've been eating carbs, y'all, so yeah, I'm a little aggro. It's just what happens. Anyway, another thing. Brain fog gone. Whenever a long-term vegan gets sick because of all the lies and all the malnutrition that come with the diet, all those people who never had a problem with their diet, they were 100% behind them, come out to woodwork and say, well, they didn't do veganism right, right? They ate all these processed foods. You're supposed to eat whole plant-based whole foods, right? Whatever they're called. Whole foods, none of this processed stuff, right? Well, you mean like Beyond Meat burger? You mean like those meatless patties grown in a lab? Like that kind of stuff? I mean, that's a whole new frontier there as far as food science goes and what sort of long-term effects that's going to have on your health, not my health. Those of you that eat that junk. Well, I guess we're just going to see and find out. But here's yet another contradiction of veganism. Even though they lie about defending this junk, because it's not really being assaulted, it's just being prevented, or it's not being attacked, it's being prevented from overstepping legal boundaries, clearly defined legal boundaries, which is, gee, why the bill passed. Duh. Fucking. You know, not only do they defend this junk food when it's convenient, because vegan, when it's convenient, they attack it just the same way. Because, well, it got people sick. Because they didn't eat a whole foods, plant-based diet. I mean, come on, man. Where's the consistency? Where's the honesty? Where's the logic? Thanks for listening.